Well, this week we are looking back at Utah's biggest disaster, the floods of 1983.
A combination of heavy snowpack, a wet spring that year, and a big rise in the temperature brought the water down from the high country in a hurry.
Keith McClure joins us tonight as he continues his series, Flood Flashback.
Last night we told you about the town of Thistle, which was inundated by water 10 years ago this week. The Thistle slide sent a loud message to the rest of us that the ground in Utah was very wet and would move. Well, about a month later, on Memorial Day 1983, the ground moved again above Farmington.
Today, the stream that flows out of Rudd Canyon above Farmington is quiet and peaceful. Not so 10 years ago. It was about 7:45 p.m. on Memorial Day when a huge mudslide came down the canyon. It flowed like lava, scouring the hillside on the way down, bringing with it huge boulders and large trees. Don Sims' house was at the mouth of Rudd Canyon. He and his family barely got out in time.
Piled in the car and took off.
Down the road?
Down the road.
Were you yelling and honking as you went?
Oh, yes.
The mud slammed into the house, spun it around, and pushed it about 100 feet. The Sims home was the first of 12 destroyed in Farmington. Last week, Don Sims took us back to the spot where he had lived for 10 years. There are no houses here now. Instead, there's a catch basin, a big hole in the ground, built to catch mud and debris in case the mountain above moves again. The Memorial Day slide stretched for about a mile into Farmington, and in some places it was 20 feet deep. After it destroyed the Sims house, it buried the home where Lowell and June Sparks lived for 33 years. They were away that night.
We took off at the Farmington turnoff, and they told us to go to the junior high, so we didn't get back here at all.
You knew then it was bad?
Yeah, we were pretty sure it was pretty bad.
The mud was as high as the roof, and next door a boulder came to rest in a bedroom. They were amazed.
It was really weird. If anybody said to me, "Do you live by a creek?" I'd have said no. You could have stepped, it was a ditch. You could have stepped over it.
The Sparks rebuilt in the same place. They and their neighbors took advantage of the boulders brought down by the slide, using them in the landscaping. The Sparks admit they've wondered about future slides, but they say the catch basin gives them peace of mind. Don Sims says he's thought about the slide often over the years.
It makes you real gun-shy for a while. You know, every time somebody slams the door, you think that something's coming down the mountain. You run and look out the window. So it puts your nerves on edge.
When things finally dried out, the residents and the city began the job of repair and restoration. It took about a year for people like the Sparks and the Sims to resume their normal lives. Not so for City Hall.
I like to tell people that when the waters and the mud receded, the paperwork stacked up. And we received our last reimbursement in December of 1992.
9 years after the slide. There was more than one slide in Farmington. The day following the Memorial Day slide, several others came down, and not just in Rudd Canyon. Seems like all of the canyons were moving during that week. By the way, in Farmington, no one died in all of that.